understand, it really is, even though I think DC would just love for us to believe that this is all way over our heads. Somebody in Tennessee, somebody up there in Alaska, she'll never understand what we're talking about here in DC. No, this is all pretty simple stuff. When our families, when our small businesses, we start running our finances into the red, what do? We tighten our belts and we cut back budgets. Isn't that what we teach our children, to live within our means? So what Todd and I do is we have to make payroll, buy new equipment for our commercial fishing business. It's a plan for the future, we need a budget. But in Washington, why is it just the opposite of that? This week, they unveiled a record-busting, mind-boggling $3.8 trillion federal budget. And they keep borrowing, and they keep printing these dollars, and they keep making us more and more beholden to foreign countries, and they keep making us take these steps towards insolvency. Now, what they're doing in proposing these big new programs with giant price tags, they're sticking our kids with the bill, and that's immoral. That's generational theft. We're skipping the opportunity. Less secure, it makes us less free, and that should tick us off. There's all these serious challenges ahead. There's private sector job creation that has got to take place, and these economic woes, and health care, the war on terror. But as the saying goes, if you can't ride two horses at once, you shouldn't be in the circus. Here's the time. Too often when big government and big business get together and cronyism sets in, well, it benefits insiders, not everyday Americans. The administration and Congress should do what we did up there in Alaska when the good old boys started making backroom deals that were benefiting big oil and not the citizens of the state. And the citizens of the states and Alaskans, we got together and we put government back on the side of the people. And a lot of the bigwigs, they started getting in trouble, and some of the bigwigs ended up going to jail over their backroom deal. Our government needs to adopt a pro-market agenda that doesn't pick winners and losers, but it invites competition and it levels the playing field for everyone. Washington's got to, across the board, lower taxes for small businesses so that our mom and pops can reinvest support innovation, reward hard work, and they should do all that they can to make sure that the game is fair without that undue corrupt influence. And then they need to get government out of the way. It would roar back to life. And for instance, on health care, we need bipartisan solutions to help families, not increase taxes. Remember that red reset button that America, through Secretary Clinton, she gave to Putin? Remember that? I think we should ask for that back at the end of the scheduled Congress. And start all over on this health care thing. And market-based reforms that incorporate some simple steps that have broad support. The best idea is not backroom deals, but things like insurance purchases across state lines and the total reforms. Reform that the White House and leaders on the Democrat side of the aisle of Congress, they don't want to consider. So it makes you wonder, what truly is their motivation? What is their intention if they won't even consider these common sense, broad-based support ideas that would work? And to create jobs, Washington should jumpstart energy projects. We need an all of the above approach to energy policy. That means proven conventional resource development and support for nuclear power. And I was thankful that the President at least mentioned nuclear power in the State of the Union. But again, we need more than words. We need a plan to turn that goal into a reality. And that's we're the real job creators and deliver carbon-free energy. And while we're at it, let's expedite the regulatory and permitting and legal processes for on and offshore drilling. That now are being sent to foreign regimes. We should be drilling here and drilling now instead of relying on them to develop their resources. That policy that's going to kill jobs and is going to pass the burden of paying for it onto our working families. And finally, if we're going to get serious about fiscal restraint, then we've got to make Washington start walking the walk. After putting us on a track to quadruple the deficit, the proposed spending freeze, maybe it's a start, but it's certainly not enough. As Senator John Doon said, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We need to go further. Cut spending. Don't just simply slow down spending spree. And we've got to axe the plans for a second stimulus when the first hasn't even been measured for any success yet. And we have that second stimulus is being referred to as a jobs bill. Now, these aren't the only ways to rein in spending, and alone they're not going to be enough. Not enough to tackle the insane debt and the deficits that we face, but they are a good way to start and to show that we're serious about getting our financial house in order. Now, like a lot of you perhaps, I have spent the last year thinking about how to best serve. How can I help our country? How can I make sure that I and you, that we're in a position of nobody being able to succeed when they try to tell us to sit down and shut up? How can we best serve? In 2008, I had the honor, really of a lifetime, running alongside John McCain. I look at him as an American hero. And nearly 60 million Americans voted for us. They cast their ballot for the things that we're talking about tonight. Lower taxes, smaller government, transparency, energy independence, and strong national security. And while, our votes did not carry the day, it was still a call to serve our country. Those voters wanted us to keep on fighting and take the gloves off. And they wanted common sense conservative solutions. And they wanted us to keep on debating. And each of us who is here today are living proof that you don't need an office or a title to make a difference. And you don't need a proclaimed leader as if we're all just a bunch of sheep and we're looking for a leader. We're fighting about what we believe in, and that's what this movement is all about. When people are willing to meet halfway and stand up for common sense solutions and values, then we want to work with them. And in that spirit, I applaud independents and Democrats like Bart Stupak, who stood up to tough partisan pressure and wanted to protect the